Hey guys, it's been a long time, it feels like. According to my thing, most of my old videos were about 2 months ago. And just wanted to say welcome back. Hope everyone's summer is wrapping up real nicely. I didn't do almost any Forgotten Realms stuff in the slightest, aside from Commander. And I obviously am not going to upload anything like that. But Magic or Wizards released another wave of mystery boosters. If you were around for that, upon its initial release, they had two different types of uh, booster boxes. One that was supposed to be for conventions like this, and certain types of events like that. The other one is supposed to be retail. So when I did open a bunch of those when they were released, and those were amazing, and I'll get into why. uh, but they're not that easy to come by anymore. So when I saw Mystery Booster on my LGS, I was like, I gotta go for it. So Mystery Booster, as people might know, is a set that has a card pool of well over 1,000 different cards, and it's supposed to be for drafting, like chaos drafts. And I hate drafting. I don't know if any of you guys do too, but it's supposed to be so people can't really plan around like what's gonna come out of the packs. That's something I like. In the initial, uh, apparently maybe this isn't 2020. We'll see. So kind of like the set boosters, every card in this thing they're like old cards that are not very. They're not always going to be amazing. They're not always going to be terrible. But the big thing is they have the little planeswalker symbol in the bottom corner. And I think it even says there like 9 out of 109 or something like that common. Um, so there's a whole bunch of these things, and just to like differentiate between the original Amonkhet release and the Mystery Booster release, they put the Planeswalker symbol in the corner, just so they don't get all mixed up. Enters battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Not too bad for a 2/3 Jackal. Hound with sacrifice. This thing, creatures you can control get +2/+2. Not terrible for a 1/1 first strike. Dispel. Counter target red spell, destroy target red permanent for 1. That's pretty gross. Not too many people use red, but in EDH, it's very easy to get red into a deck. The thing that bugs me sometimes, though, is like, look at this. There was, what? Common, 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 uncommon, common, uncommon, common. And they come from all sorts of stuff. I don't even recognize this symbol, but this is a Modern Horizons. Um, Uncommon, I think that's a uncommon. Definitely he's a common. I think they're uncommon too. Ooh, Mishra's Bauble. I'm pretty sure that one's one of the cards that are over like $10. And then we get to our rare finally. Alright, so rare comes into play. Name a non-land card. Cannot be played for 2 mana. Not too bad. Another rare, Grave Crawler. Can't block. You may cast it from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. So resummoning 1 drop. And this is from what do you call it? Dual decks. That's great. You got I don't know what the two symbols are, like what the two people are supposed to be from this dual deck, but I mean that's kind of cool. You got so much random stuff tossed in here. They even come from dual decks. And then lastly, this is where you get to find out. Okay, so the convention editions come with these little playtest cards. I'm putting my fingers on it. This is not like taped on. This is literally how the cards are printed. So 2 for a 2/2 vigilance. During your turn, there is an additional combat phase after the first, and only creatures with this may attack during it. That's kind of a cool ability, but again, these are playtest cards. You can't actually use these. If you have a fun random group, maybe they'll let you pop some of these into a commander deck or something. But for the most part, they're just for collectible collections. And if you can see here, there is no planeswalker symbol on them. From what I read, the initial convention edition booster boxes, they did have the Planeswalker symbol there. So everything else is just regular cards from Mystery Booster. These will be specific to the Convention Edition 2021. The other thing that I read about these, now that I kind of did some explaining in that whole first pack, um, what I read is that they also took out a bunch of cards. Uh, like you will no longer be able to get. Darn it! I forgot what the blue enchantment is. The blue enchantment that it's like every time an opponent plays a spell, you draw a card unless they pay one. And I know I have one or two, and I'm blanking on the name, but that thing. Ooh, nice. Sliv Mizzet, Hive Mind. I want to say that's actually still up there in price. Look, slivers you control have flying, and whenever you draw a card, this creature deals 1 damage to any target, and you could tap to draw a card. So, yeah, obviously broken as all knobs. To give all of your slivers this ability, it's just disgusting. Obviously, some of these are basically like joke cards. Not, they would never have printed these in the slightest. That's why they're not legal anywhere. Anywho, yeah, there's that card I list I named. Part of the reason I think that one wasn't brought back in this is because it was put in as an uncommon slot, so people were getting them left and right. But yeah, took that out and a couple other like really powerful cards. A snake, a wolf, and an elephant on the battlefield. Not too bad. She's still kind of cool. Heavy Arbalist doesn't tap turns. Doesn't tap deal 2 damage to a creature. Ooh, Dragon Broodmother. At the beginning of each upkeep, you get a 1/1 red and green flying Devour 2 dragon. Those are fun. I think I've pulled one of these before and I loved it. All is Dust. Oh, good. Each player sacrifices all colored permanents he or she controls. So if you somehow make lands colored, you're just a jerk. That's pretty fun. I have never pulled that before. There's a lot of stuff in this that I've never grabbed because there's just such a huge card pool. Yeah, they're not too cheap, but they are definitely, in my opinion, still worth it, even though they're way up there in price now. I need to not just blaze through the commons and all that stuff. Healer Hawk, 1/1 flying lifelink. That's not terrible. Just returning on a last creature, you get 2 life. I don't even know that symbol either. If we played the Name That Set edition, I would be very, very sad. Really, that's uncommon, huh? Impending Disaster. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in play, sacrifice this and destroy all lands. No, Stun Double. Stun Double's not bad. Flash and you make a copy of target creature. Any creature, not even doesn't even have to be yours. That's cool. Then what the heck? A Planeswalker? Oh Jesus. Well, I'm not even gonna keep reading all these. I'm just gonna make sure that they're visible on my camera. People could read them if they really want to. Uh, some of the art's just really goofy too. I've seen some people do Commander on YouTube, and some of those guys just like for their tokens, they'll just like scribble stuff. Especially the copy tokens. They're like, I have to copy this, so I'm literally gonna just write the name down, do a really quick sketch of what it sort of looks like. So target permanent you own and don't own. That's not too bad. Shattering Spree and replicate. Nice. Destroy artifacts. Everax. Everax Petrion Zinthos. Basic land reveal, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. That's not bad for one, but at the same time, it's not awesome. That's literally basic land cycling minus the cycling. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. It's not the worst. Assemble the Legion, Lancers, and battlefield. Make search your library for a legendary card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. 4/4 first strike for a search effect. It's not bad. Squidapper. Yep. Look at that. Nice big old squid with a giant mustache on it. That's fucking awesome. I'm definitely liking how a number of these are like starting with a one cost common. It's uncommon. That's another uncommon. Until the end of turn, creature gains return target no longer permit. Target creature gets that ability. Target gets life. Strike. Manifest the top card of your library. Get counters on it. Woot woot. Pilgrimage. A green monk that makes white. Yeah, he's not a legendary. Common. Martyr's Bond. Another non-limit permanent you control is put into a graveyard from battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices permanent, shares a card type with it. 6 Exile top 8 cards of your library. You may put a land from among them onto the battlefield, and you turn each non-land card type you for each. You may cast a card of that type exiled without paying its mana cost. So for 8, you get to like play a creature, a sorcery, and instant. Frogkin Kidnapper. That's a huge cost for 8. But if you play with really high cost cards, or if you somehow get to finagle the top of your deck and know you're going to get some nice stuff for free, that's not too bad. What's even cooler though is if you somehow combo it up where you can get multiple copies of that spell being cast at once, exile a whole bunch of cards, and then effectively you might get 2 cards of every type. Phyrexian Plague Sword's not bad. Personal Decoy. +1 you can gain a life. Yeet. Everybody likes the little ducks. It's a duck with the literal planeswalker symbol on its chest. Alright, uncommon. Sorry, target trapped creature. Daze. Sealed Doom. I'm still going too fast for this, but there's a lot that I want to go through. Destroy target artifact. Okay, you can destroy it. I'm not going to stop you. Alchemist Vial. Comes into play, draw a card. Sacrifice it. Target creature can't attack or block this turn. I don't recognize this card. Whenever it attacks, defending player puts top 10 cards of his or her library into the graveyard. Defending player has to, so it's not even target. Leviathan Horror. Pretty fun. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile this, okay? So for 7 you get to do that, but if it's a turn you draw it, pay it for 2. Not terrible. Be weird if you played it on turn 2. Like, alright, I have my 3rd turn immediately. More likely you draw it on a way later turn when you have like at least 7 mana available. You're like, I got 2 turns of 7 mana and whatever else is on the field. I will literally have to go through all these later. Abundant Growth. I remember that being a really cool card when I was first starting. Slave of Bolas. Such an evil card. Can't be blocked and has Shroud. Yeah, pretty savage. Comes into play, you may discard your hand and draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. 7 damage. There are 7 costs to put them into play. Improvise. Search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost extra less. Put them in the battlefield and shuffle your library. You can tap a bunch of artifacts to count as 1. Not terrible. Domesticated watercourse. Oh, it's like a horse with like a building wrapped around it. Kind of strange. I don't remember if Path of Exile is still way up there or not. I'm just going to move it to the side. Faithbearer Paladin. Crashing Tide. Fascination. This one's the uncommon. There you go. Rite of Serpent. Eyebite Indian. This is an uncommon. 2 for a 3/1 with no effect. It will damage each up to 2 target creatures. Pouncing Cheetah. Archer Life. Deny Reality. Yeah, some of these haven't been too awesome just yet. For each force you control for 3 mana. So later on it's going to be pretty awesome because it's going to be big and hexproof. Oh, the Witness, a 4/4, but you can pay 4 to exchange your life total with its power. So you can swing, or normally what you try to do is, as it's about to deal damage to somebody, switch its power with your life, and you hit for a bunch and gain all of that life right back. But your opponent should see it coming. Yawgmoth's Testament. Okay, Bonds of Faith. Tandem Tactics. I don't think any of these have been uncommon yet. Thunder Drake, Brilliant. Do we give up keep? Oh! And then Goblin creatures attack each turn if able. I'm going to have to put that into one of my decks. That sounds really cool. We'll put it off to the side, even though I don't know if it's really worth all that much. Oh yeah, the Reunion, you get to draw cards. We have to discard cards first. Yeah, Groundwell, Basking, Root Walla, Cauldron Dance. I remember seeing that before, but I don't think I've ever used it. Creatures you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponent's control, and then you can regenerate a target creature. That's a pretty defensive card. I like it. But there's the moneymaker for this box. Like, not immediately, but like very early on. Look at that. Little over halfway. Is this not the right? This is a completely different card sleeve. I don't know what this is, but as you can see, it won't really cover the magic. Well, now you can see because it doesn't really fit. Yeah, there's a big old space over there where the card is. This should be in the sleeve, but I grabbed the wrong size, like a fool. That's pretty awesome. I've only pulled one Mana Crypt before this, and I like immediately traded it in. But now I might actually keep that. Not too sure. Pretty powerful card. Resurrection. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Dismantling Blow. Untap target creature, draw a card. Again, not paying attention to what I'm going through, so I could easily be passing up some quality stuff. Bookcase. Blech. Questing. Fell the drift. +1/+1 until end of turn. Target opponent puts a 1/1 hippo into play. Protection from black and from red. Target opponent gains 2 life. Gets flying until end of turn. Target opponent may draw a card. That's a lot of cool stuff. Oh, Mirror Breaker. Put a copy of target non-legendary creature you control into the battlefield. It has haste, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Pretty awesome. I think I did trade in at least one of him before too. And then just some island. Some island with a giant eyeball in it. Nice stuff. Seraph Sons. Wait, that's... God, it's so hard to tell. I think this is the uncommon and this is the common. We'll see. Concentrate. I love Concentrate. Concentrate and the, I think it's Harmonize? No. I forgot what the green one was, but they literally are just 4 mana, draw 3 cards. Some quality stuff, especially in Commander. Untap target forest. Yeah. Enters battlefield, draw a card. 3/3 for 5, and you get to draw a card as uncommon. Not my favorite. Distribute 2/1 counters on 1 or 2 target creatures you control for 5. It's not the worst. Ooh, Bone Splitter. I used to love that thing. Star of Extinction. Destroy target land and does 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Pretty disgusting for 7 mana. Oops, put that on. Blood Poet. Oh, that actually looks kind of nice. I don't want it as a playmat, but it does look like it could have easily been playmat art worthy. I say that, and I've seen tons of people with like phenomenal, like highest end playmats. I just think that one alone would be kind of cool looking on a playmat. Snap. Return target creature, and then untap 2 lands. Yep, I remember that. That was good stuff. Elves of the Deep. And it deals damage to you. Makes black and deals damage. I want to put this aside because I don't know why. I thought there was something like that that actually had value. Alright, here we go. Dominus the Fealty? Of Fealty, okay. Beginning of your upkeep, you may gain control of target permanent until end of turn. If you do, untap it and it gains haste till end of turn. So 4/4, and you get every single turn take stuff. Eldrazi Monument, +1/+1, flying and indestructible. And then you have to keep sacrificing a creature to keep that. That's pretty awesome. I don't remember how expensive that thing is. And then you're in command. That one they kind of cashed in. Not only is it just like a regular goofy drawing, everything about it looks kind of just blurb. Faith's feeders, feathers, sacrifices. Okay, I think that goes here. I really wish some of those that are questionable. Propaganda, that one's fun. I do like putting those into decks. Ancestor, no. Child of Night, no. Sandman, no. Someone's command. The fact that that's common means I probably don't need it. We Dragonauts. Implement of Malice. Seems interesting to me. And a Sanctuary. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a blue or black permanent, target creature gets +1/+1 down to turn. If you control a blue permanent and a black permanent, that creature gets +5/+5 instead. Wow. So if you're playing blue, black, green, you every turn start adding a +5/+5. But at your upkeep, so that's cool. And a coat of arms. Could always put more coat of arms into decks. Thunk. Bucket list. Well, I guess you can't put more into a commander deck. You have a coat of arms in a commander deck. Otherwise, you have 0 in the commander deck. Cohort. Tap target ally you control, gain 2 life. So tap 2 creatures, gain a life. That was a big old chain of commons. There's Cannonade, Beast Within, Destroy Target. This one's fun. Yeah. People do like playing those. Target Goblin gets +2/+0 time to turn. Okay. Warcry. Target creature gets +1/+0 time to turn. It's uncommon. I do run some Chromatic Lanterns. All lands have tap to produce 1 mana of any color. Only downside is it gives everybody. No, lands you control. Okay, there's a different one that says all lands have that same ability. I think it's a creature though. So you're like telling people, hey, don't kill this because it fixes your mana too. Cabal Therapy. Tendrils with Corruption. Dagger Shock. Fiery Temper. Fiery Temper. That also is a pretty fun thing. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. That is kind of a high cost to do that. For each creature with defender you control. Not terrible. For a 0/4, because at the very least, it's a 0/4. So, it can block or it can make the manas. Sacrifice a land, put squirrels into play. Boosh, this guy's fun. Blood Chief, 4/4. Target creature gets +0 -X. And this thing gets +X +0. That's kind of a cool ability. I like it. And then Plane Merge Elf. Most of the way through these. I'm on my last stack here. Angelic Gift. I do like I forgot what they were called, like cantrip cards, where they're not very expensive and they get to draw you a card in addition to whatever else it does. Ooh, Swift Spear. I think this now makes a playset of those. So I should, very much so, make a red modern deck now. Enchanted Evening. All permanents and enchantments. All permanents are enchantments in addition to their other types. Not too bad. Draw Escalate. Play this for each mode chosen beyond the first. Discard a card. Pay this. So you get to choose one or more, but then you have to keep discarding cards to do the other stuff. Okay. And enroll in the collation. Fun stuff. I also see really big on these booster packs for age 13 and up. I wonder if it's because some of these playtests are just kind of like too goofy or too not safe for kids. Prevent all damage. 1 or 2 target creatures would deal this turn. Okay. Evidence. Sacrifice artifact, draw a card. Enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you discard a random card for a 5/5 with no effects. Other than that. Landfall. It gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Okay, not too crazy. 2 for a 2/3. Hard Expedition. Under your control, you might put a quest. Yeah, you do this and you get to search for lands as long as you've been playing lands. I thought this thing was really cool. 1/1 flying and lifelink, not terrible for 3 cost, especially because for black white it's like easy to easy to cast it. So it's a 6/6 for 8 flying and summoning sickness, or flying and haste, I should say. Enters battlefield, pay that. If you can't return this to its owner hand, and you get 1 energy. Oh, so if you really need energy, or if you have 3 mana, you could play this. Because you pay 1, you get an energy. Pay another 1, you get another energy. On the third time you cast him, you get him into play because you have the 2 energy to pay. But he also enters the battlefield, so you can get 3 ATBs with this. That's fun. If you're not running energy. If you're running energy, then it might happen earlier. Form of the Mulldrifter. Tribal enchantment elemental. Fun. Oh, yeah. Why is it? Oh, it looks like they even put it on top of a Mulldrifter for people that have Mulldrifters. Yeah, that's definitely a Mulldrifter wing that they put it on top of. I like it. Okay. Wandering Champion. Meh. Congregate. I thought this was like a really cool card when I used to have like a standard token deck. Or maybe it was just barely out of standard. Not too sure because I was really young. They might not have had it at the time. Priest of Titania, always a fun elf. Enters battlefield, you get a 4/4 green bear. Not terrible. Thought Vessel, I want to say that's still kind of valued. I'm not too sure by how much though. Timely reinforcements, and then horse. It gives other people. Each opponent gets a 1/1 white soldier token. Jerks buries land. I remember reading that. Cloud. I read that when I was just browsing through some of those cards. Thought it was real derp. Okay. Attacks, tap target creature, and opponent controls. I remember getting those in a draft. I thought they weren't that bad. Then I got wrecked. So I decided they were not as valuable as I thought. +1/+1 till end of turn, and you get to draw a card. Only downside is it costs 2. Enters battlefield, create an elf. That's not terrible. Okay. Diamond Mane. Draw a card whenever you cast a creature, or you choose a color and then gain life every time you do that. That's fun. Cremator. When it comes into play, discard a card at random. If you discard a creature card this way, it deals damage equal to the card's power to target player. So it's only when it comes into play. Angel of Dire Hour. Enters battlefield. If you cast it from your hand, exile all attacking creatures because it's a 5/4 flying flash for 7. They should have known better. Enchant creature storm. +1/+0 and has vigilance. You just keep making a whole bunch of these. That's a lot of enter the battlefield copy enchantments that you get to make. Almost there. I think this is the last 5 packs. Countless Gears Renegade. Okay. Sometimes going through all these, since I don't recognize them, if you just went by title alone, it'd be a little difficult to figure out which ones are the real ones and which ones are the playtest ones. You know, like, what's his name? Land. That could totally have been a real card. Oh, do you like some of those Eldrazi's with the Void? Deadly Tempest. Destroy all creatures. Each player loses life equal to the number of creatures he or she controlled that were destroyed this way. Well, that would hurt. Definitely don't run tokens with that card. Frenemy, the Guild Pact. Protection from enemy color multicolor. Jesus. Yep. So 2 left. See if we have anything else that's kind of cool. So far, we only have the crypt, as far as I could tell. Ooh, I remember Sarah's Embrace being really nice. 2/2 Flying Vigilance for 4. Wall of Omens, enters the battlefield, draw a card. 2 for a 0/4 blocker and drawing another card. Not bad, in my opinion. Vent Sentinel. So yeah, if you did get your hands on the store editions, the retail editions of these, exile all cards from target player's graveyard for a 0 cost artifact. That's not terrible. So the other one actually had choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. You could like literally draw 3 cards with this, return target creature to its owner's hand, or choose 3 things to return to your hand. The other version lets you like instead of all of these playtest cards, you get foil cards. And a lot of the times the foils were kind of bent up and stuff, but some of them were actually really cool foil cards. But I don't know, initially people didn't care for them, but I feel like the prices for them went up a lot as time went by. Frost Links, Boon of Emrakul, enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature, power 2 or less. Oh, okay. So yeah, I did the other ones, got the cool holo cards, and I kind of wish I did get the retail edition instead of the convention edition. But I think some of these are kind of goofy. Birds of Paradise, always a goofy card. And then Lesser Goblins. So yeah, to me the big money makers are of course the Mana Crypt, and then I think out of these, Sliv Mizzet is probably the biggest thing that I got. But I'll have to go through the video and my collection and what I pulled here and see if there was anything that was also worth much. For the most part, if it wasn't for the Mana Crypt, I don't think this was really worth what I paid for. That's the whole point of Mystery Booster. You have absolutely no idea. And I think when these first came out, they weren't very expensive at all. If you were able to watch like the booster box games online, they just kept opening and opening and opening. That was, I think, one of his longest box opening videos. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. I hope you guys had fun watching. I know I definitely have a lot of sorting to do because these don't really fall into a very easy category for me. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you guys again before